Okay. So our Monday Marketing Mastermind, the topic today is the fastest way to get into conversations with motivated buyers right now. There is if you've been in real estate for any time, I'm sure you've probably heard you got to list to last, right? And there's no question that there is wisdom in that. And also, I would add, list to last, but you can get buyers under contract fast. Okay, list to last, but you can get buyers under contract fast. And if you're starting from scratch, or you've got nothing in the pipeline, it is faster. If you're talking about the fastest way to get into escrow and get yourself paid, it is definitely buyers. Now, it may be more work, but it is definitely buyers. And particularly this time of year, and with the current market conditions, if you can find and connect with motivated buyers, it could be a way to, make the holidays less painful financially or monetarily speaking. So what I'm going to show you, there is a free, way that you can leverage this, and then a paid strategy. And the example that I'm going to show you is from two paid campaigns that we have right now. And these are campaigns which are designed to initiate conversations on Facebook through Facebook Messenger. Okay. And the reason why that's relevant and important is the open rate on Facebook Messenger is nearly as high as text messaging. And these are designed so that the interested party is initiating the conversation, right? So instead of us chasing them, right, we get them chasing us first, and then it's just about asking good questions, creating conversation, and determining that it's always when you're using a Texting Tuesday script, or you're using a strategy like this, or you're getting leads from wherever, the thing you're trying to determine is two things. Can I help this person, and how? Can I help this person, and how? And I will say, there are lots of people through this conversation starting strategy that we can't help right now. But if we sift and sort through, we do find, and we're finding right now, which is why we continue to run this ad. We're spending $20 a day to have these conversations. And we're getting conversations for about $2.50 per conversation. So for $2.50, we're starting conversations with people through Messenger. Okay. So all that said, I'm going to share a few different things. And I also want to let you know that if you'd like the additional resources, examples, etc., that we're going to dig into today, including how we structure our conversations with these folks, like the questions that we ask, and in the sequence that we ask them in, and when we pivot to what their next best step may be, which could be to schedule a call, it could be to start a mortgage application, or some variation of one of those two things. If you'd like all of that and the replay of this, just get back to whoever invited you, and they can get you free access to all of that. Okay. So this is the post. Okay. There is some text. This is an image. Okay. This is an image just built with Canva. And by the way, we'll, when you get back to the person that invited you, we'll also give you like the Canva share link. If you use Canva and have a Canva Pro account, we can share it with you. But it's very, very simple, and you don't have to use Canva to build something like this. You could literally, you could do this in a Google Doc and center align the text and take a screenshot of it. Okay. So you've got the text above here. This is kind of confirming or qualifying the interested parties, right? Must be currently paying at least $1,300 in rent per month, down payment assistance and special financing programs available, and then information here. And in this case, I'm using my mortgage loan originator info. it doesn't really matter. We've done this where I've used my EXP Realty info. It works regardless. The reason why I'm doing this is I'm running it on this page because Facebook, for whatever reason, has restricted my EXP Realty business page. And I've tried to get it unrestricted and whatever. They're being a pain. But we find a way. The text on the image, right? So the image itself says, sick of renting, message us, sick of renting, question mark. Message us your monthly rent amount and we'll send you 3 homes you can own for the same payment. Okay. And we've tried some variations of this and we'll include those variations in the bonus material for those. But this general sentiment of, I can show you how to own for less than or the same as what you're paying in rent. Important to include some qualifiers though, because again, this is a strategy that will get you into conversations, but there are going to be, you're going to have to sift and sort through a lot of those to find the ones that are ready, willing, and able now, and who, you'll have lots of folks that are ready and willing. It's finding the ones that are also able, right? And so we do get a lot of people that don't read the minimum amount. Okay. So you have to, and we have a way that we handle that. We have a, sort of a way that we address that so that, just because they say that they're currently paying $800 doesn't mean that they can't pay $1,300 to $1,500, right? And so we have a little, way of asking that question to see if it makes sense to continue having a conversation, right? Because again, all we're trying to do is, can I help this person and how? Can I help them? How? The amount that you put for the at least is going to be reflective of your market. I'm in a more rural, lower average price market. So we've got 1,300. We've done it where we put 1,500 as the minimum. We put 1,800, I think, as the minimum. Pre-pandemic, I think, and we're doing 1,200 even. Okay, so you choose what you want to put there, but know that you're going to get people that message with an amount that is lower than that. Okay, but you can still pivot that, and you want to ask them. And I think I have an example of the question in here that we'll get into in a moment. And then below the image is simply message us your rental amount. And then they click send message and they send us their rental amount. These are what, these are some actual live conversations from this morning. So just this morning already, I actually turned the ads off Wednesday late afternoon because I didn't want myself, and I don't do most of this at this point. Mike on my team has these conversations, but I didn't want either of us to be sort of worrying about, these over the last few days. And I turned them back on this morning, and we've already gotten some re-engaged conversation. And even though I had them off, we had a couple of people messaging on Friday, and there were no paid ads running or anything like that. And you can see here, there were a whole bunch on Wednesday, a whole bunch on Tuesday, a whole bunch on November 21st, and so on and so forth. Now, where this idea started was posting in Marketplace this very same concept. A huge caveat, though, is I have since gotten my Marketplace. I'm banned from Marketplace on Facebook, in part, I'm sure, because of this strategy. So use that strategy with caution, quote unquote, because technically it's not the kind of post that Facebook wants in Marketplace. Exactly. Facebook wants actual listings of rental properties or actual property listings. And I think somebody was chiming in there. If you have a question, go ahead.
I had heard they were going to shut down. I don't know if it was all real estate in Marketplace or just certain categories. What do you know about that?
Yeah, first I would say I often hear from people that they've heard this or that or the other thing related to Facebook, and usually it's either patently false or a confused communication or message. So I don't know exactly what it is, but I believe, as I've understood it, is the way you can post from a page versus your personal. I think they're changing. But again, that's not the only free way that you could do this. The better way I'm going to share here in a minute. But Harry, and then somebody else has their hand raised as well. And please only provide an answer to this if you're 1,000% sure of the answer, because again, I hear often from people that have been they've been misled or misinterpreted communications that they've seen or heard from others. Harry, go ahead. Sorry.
Okay. Yep. So my question is, how did you come up with 1,300? Because 1,300 won't get you much in my part of the world. Did you back into it by saying, okay, here's the median sales price and here's what a mortgage payment would be?
Yes, correct. That is a great question. So that would be the low end, the lower end of a starter home in my market.
Got it. Okay, thanks.
And again, I think you can use whatever you want here. It's up to you, and you may have to try different amounts to find the sweet spot, because I know, the average rent or the average home price in my market is way different than Harry's in Montgomery County, Maryland. It's way different than James's in Denver, Colorado, right? Yep. So I want to stress here, that is specific to my market, Central Pennsylvania, where our average home price is let's say on the low end compared to higher price markets. So great point of clarification. And someone else had their hand raised, which I can't see name. All I see is numbers, but go ahead. You'll have to open your line though.
Hey, Josh, it's Roy Callan. I had my hand raised.
Yeah. Hi, Roy.
So, yeah, hi there. So I've been banned from Facebook Marketplace for quite a while because of, what I thought were non-threatening real estate advertisements.
You and I can think what we want. They don't care.
I know that. And I apply for a review on a regular basis, and they continue to tell me that I have I have violated their community standards, which I don't understand. I don't see where any violation takes place, but they're in charge, not me. Should I go back to lead generation, or am I wasting my time on your call right now? Usually I like your calls.
No, not at all. So number one, we can help you with how to create an ad like this, which will get you more consistent, predictable results anyway.
Yeah.
And then I want to share 3 other ways you can use this strategy for free, 2 of which are on Facebook, 1 of which is not. And just know that you're either going to invest time or money. It's either time or money. And even with this strategy, when you invest money, there's still going to be a time component, because somebody actually needs to be having the conversations. The good thing is, you're having you're having an actual conversation with a live human being in your market, right? So
I'll hang on then.
Point in question. Marketplace is just one way to use this strategy, and they're going to continue to make it hard to do this strategy in marketplace. And it's because it doesn't fit the terms of service anyways, right? So you're like, it's not even gray hat, it's black hat, right? It's not how they want you to use it.
Perfect. I'll hang on. Thank you.
Yeah, you bet. Okay, so here are the other ways that you can use this idea. You can simply make a post like this on your business page. And there's actually 2 ways you can do this. You can create a post like this on your business page and then share it into local groups. Or you can directly go into local groups and make a post like this. Now, some groups will kick you out for doing that, but there are many, many, many local Facebook groups And you could also start your own and build that up, right? Which is that's a Monday marketing mastermind all on its own. But there are lots of existing groups where you could go and share a message like this in. And you can proactively go into groups, whether they be real estate, local real estate specific groups, or even non-real estate specific, and find people who are looking for a rental and message them directly. Hey, I saw that you were looking to rent. Just curious, is there a reason why you're looking to rent and not interested in buying a home right now? And starting the conversation there. And what we found is there are always a certain percentage of people that don't realize they can qualify for a home. They believe that they have to have a 720 credit score to qualify. They believe that they have to have 20% down. They believe this, that, or the other thing. And if you are the one that educates them that there may be options for them right where they're at right now, you could be the one that turns them from, hopeless renter into happy homeowner. So just proactively having those conversations. The other free strategy, and this is not going to generate you the same number of opportunities, but it's free and it's worth doing, is posting something like this on Craigslist. Once again, it's against their general terms of service, but if you don't have links in there, and if you do it in a certain, if you structure it like this, and you post it into Housing Wanted or in the rental section, it may be another way for you to have those, create those conversation opportunities. The last way that you can use this general idea is with your existing database. Now, you may not have your database, and quite honestly, I don't have my database segmented well enough to know, okay, I can't go and filter, these are all the current renters in my database. But you can frame it in a way that is, do you know any current renters paying X amount per month? Share this message with them, or let me know, because we may be able to help them buy a home for the same amount they're paying in rent right now. Okay. So I would start with, if this idea is resonating with you, I would start with the free strategies. And if you'd like help with implementing the paid strategy, get back to the person that invited you. We'll put together step-by-step instructions, or for a fee, we can even build it for you. Okay, we can even create it for you. Now, a couple more things before we open it up for more Q&A and mastermind. And we haven't had time to do this on these Monday sessions, but this one's a little bit of a shorter one, so we can open it up for other, brainstorming or mastermind activities. But here are just a few, examples of the conversation. So James here replied back 1,400. That's what he's paying. Got it. Thanks, James. What areas are you looking to purchase in? Franklin County, right on. How many beds and baths? Single family or townhome? We almost always only include one question. However, we found that this one, when you're doing this, it's okay to ask both, because they're kind of simple questions, and most people already have an idea in their mind on those, if they want a single family or townhome, and how many beds and baths. You also, you may want to change that to, maybe condos are more prevalent in your market, right? So, it could be single family or a condo. In my market, we have a lot of townhomes, and even the condos in my markets are actually townhomes. They're just, they're set up condominium, or they're whatever. It's a little bit semantic, but you get the point, right? Make this congruent to your area, okay? When are you looking to make a move? So we're trying to gauge motivation and time frame. Another way you can frame that is, what's your time frame to make a move? What's your time frame to make a move, right? And then we start to pivot into, and we actually have changed this slightly, but we start to pivot into, their next best step. And we'll get their email address. We'll get them some options. So for example, in this case, options in Franklin County, 3-bed, 2-bath, single family that would fit a monthly amount in that. And that's how we make good on the thing that they were originally responding about. But we want to pivot them or get them into conversation, either starting an application, a mortgage application, or having a conversation with somebody on our mortgage team, right? And that goes back to something that we were really emphasizing on last week's Monday Marketing Mastermind is you've got to have a great relationship with your lending partner or partners, right? So that you can work collaboratively. And in fact, I wouldn't implement this strategy. I would not implement this strategy until or unless you have a great loan officer or mortgage partner that will work these collaboratively with you and that are willing to play the long game. So like my mortgage team, we offer free credit direction, and we strategically call that credit direction. We can't call it credit repair. But Jordan on my team will map out for folks what they need to do to improve their credit at no cost. Okay. Now they have to complete an application because we need to have certain information in order to provide that for them. But we offer that at no cost. And I would ask that or demand that from your mortgage partner if you're going to do this strategy. Because if you're only focused on the short term with this, you're missing the forest through the trees. There will be short-term opportunities, and some of you will implement this idea and you'll be looking at homes this weekend with potential buyer clients. Okay. Some of you won't, but I know if enough of you did this, that will happen. But the real value in this is building that pipeline of future business as well, right? Because that's how you get off the transaction treadmill, is building a database and pipeline of future clients. Okay. And when you help folks that are ready and willing and just not able right now, when you help those folks, they will be some of your best referrers, right? They will go out of their way to refer and recommend you to others. I'm going to get into more of these, but I want to also highlight that this strategy, for those of you who don't know my story, just real quick, I had not been actively selling real estate for many years. I had been building a couple of companies and providing coaching, training, systems, tools, etc. I reactivated my license, and my first, it may be my first 5 transactions came from not this exact post, but this concept of getting the attention of renters and telling them, hey, if you're sick of renting, we can help you buy a home instead. Now that was pre-pandemic. That was at the beginning of 2020, but they all came from Facebook Messenger conversations like what we're illustrating here today. Here's the example of the pivot. So some people, when they say below the amount, that 1,300, thanks, John, how much are you comfortable paying per month? I ask because in the post, we note that you have to be paying at least 1,300 per month. So you refer back to the fact that, because some people will get some people will just get angry, right? Like there are just some angry people in the world, right? And so they think that because they put 700, that you can send them 3 homes they can buy for 700 or less, when they missed the qualifying information in the post, right? So you want to have that in there so people don't think it's a bait and switch and they don't go looking for whatever to negatively interact and stuff like that. Which, by the way, if people, I didn't even mention here, you can see at the bottom 192 comments. So even though I'm saying specifically, send a message with your rental amount, we get lots of people that comment the rental amount, and then you can comment, you can reply, you can send them a message through Messenger from their comment. And so we'll send them a message through Messenger and we'll comment, hey, thanks for commenting. We just sent you a message, a private message, which I don't know why I can't get these to show up here. If we have time, I'll play around to see if I can get those to show up. But you get all kinds of, and not all of the comments are rental amounts, right? Like some people, there are some people that will complain or whatever. But when you're doing this type of strategy, you should have no reservations with banning people and deleting their comments. If they're negative, if they're stirring the pot, whatever, ban, delete. It's your page, you're in control, right? Like that's you have 100% right to do that. So this one in this example said, no, I said I was paying $950 a month. And Mike was very kind. Got it. It might be a little difficult to find something in that price range, but I'm happy to check, right? Good customer service. What areas are you looking to purchase in? And then we've got the same sort of line of questioning here beyond that. Here was another one, $850. And we asked that same, thanks, how much are you comfortable paying per month? I asked because in the post, we note that you have to be paying at least $1,300 per month. Okay, and these conversations, I mean, they're happening over and over and over. And the structure is pretty similar over and over and over. And also there are, I don't know that we have any examples in here, but we had one recently that was $1,800, $2,300, $1,700. So it's not all just the low numbers. You will get more of the, I will say that you will get more below the amount that you post than you will over the amount that you post. But this is a sifting and sorting activity. And you can also get creative on uncovering other opportunities from this by asking, do you know anyone else who's in a similar situation? Or, you never know what will be uncovered in this. Sometimes people respond and say, hey, my landlord is thinking about selling the place, so I'm kind of freaking out. Oh, what's the current address, right? And then you look up, you use Remine or Property or PropStream or Property Radar, and you find the owner and you reach out. Hey, I've been talking with your tenant there at 123 Main Street. She said you might be thinking about selling. I thought I'd reach out because we have a number of clients who'd be interested in buying. Okay, so when you're in conversations with people, it's easier to find opportunity when there's no conversations happening, right? And it's your job to uncover those additional opportunities from those conversations. James, and then somebody else had their hand up as well.
Yeah, I was just going to say there's a bunch of good comments and questions in the chat.
Oh, thank you. We'll get to those now. But first, Roy, you have your hand up again, so go right ahead. Roy, you may have to mute.
No, I've asked from before. I'm sorry, I forgot to take my hand down.
Okay, no problem.
You answered. Thank you. Thank you.
Yep. Okay. So questions in the Q&A box. Actually, I wonder, is there one other? So one other thing I wanted to show real quick before we get to questions is I always think it's important to show proof and that I'm not full of smoke. So this is one of the two campaigns. We have two campaigns. They're exactly the same. It's exactly the same. We just have two campaigns because the way Facebook's algorithms work, they will put those campaigns in in front of different audience buckets. And so we actually tried 3. 2 of them came out as quote unquote winners in my estimation. So we have 2 of them that we're still running. $10 per day. And you can see here, this one is $2.64 per conversation. So, and one last thing before I open it up for Q&A. Once we get their email, and in some cases their phone number, that's when we put them into our CRM. Okay, that's when we put them into KV Core in our example. Okay, however, this is mean, on some level, this is a CRM now, because part of what Mike is doing on a daily basis is going back to folks, just like the Texting Tuesday text and email scripts are designed to reignite conversations. Mike goes back on a daily basis. He'll go back and look, 7 days back, 8 days back, 9 days back, 10 days back to conversations that ended. They stalled out for whatever reason, and he'll try to restart those conversations because there may have been interest, and who knows what happened. They got distracted. Something bad happened at work. Their kids got sick. Who knows? And by going back and reinvigorating, so this becomes, like a quasi CRM. And if you don't have a CRM at all, you can use this to get started, to get to a point where you can lead with revenue and invest in a CRM. Or if you're not with EXP, you should get back with the person that invited you here, and we can tell you how to get access to KV Core, which is phenomenal. Anywho, let's get to the Q&A. And anyone else, if you have questions, comments, thoughts, ideas, etc., go ahead and you can raise your hand, or you can even open your line as well. So let's see here. Okay, so lots of people getting banned on Marketplace. I'm not the only one. Don't let it stop you, though. That is just one way to leverage this idea, right? Find other ways to leverage the idea. Also a good qualifier for a mortgage app. I'm not sure what that meant, Glenn. Maybe I lost the context there. If you can't advertise on Facebook, then where are you placing the ads? Yvonne, I can advertise. I'm just banned from using Facebook Marketplace. And Facebook Marketplace, if you're not familiar, it's Facebook's version of Craigslist. It's their online classified ad platform. But my ad account is still live, though they've restricted my Josh .schoenly EXP Realty page. So what I've been using is unbranded pages like West Shore Homes and Living, and I also have my page for my mortgage business. So, will this webinar be recorded? It absolutely is. If you'd like access to the recording and the additional resources, the document, the example conversations, etc., just get back to whoever invited you to the session, and they can get you a link where you can create a free membership, a free access to that. Lots of other social media sites as well. Right. Yeah. I mean, you could do this on Instagram, right? I mean, you can use it on other platforms. No question. Let's see here. Yeah, Kim, garage sale sites with no rules. That's what you want, right? If you're posting into Facebook groups, right? You want to find, and there are lots and lots and lots of groups in every market, even in tiny, very rural markets, there are loads of Facebook groups. And if we want, I can even show you how to find local ones. It's very simple. And in fact, we'll do that here in a minute. Couple more questions, and then Harry, we'll get to your, Pete said, send postcards with this message to rental properties that tenants are already paying your set amount. 100%, right? You could also, the platform that I use and love for direct mail is thanks.io. You can get a free account at growwithjosh.com/thanks. But let's say that there is a rental community in your area that rents, whether it's apartments or townhomes, and they start at $1,300 or $1,500, whatever. You could send a similar message. And in fact, here's what we'll do. We'll create a template for what you could send and how to take this idea and turn it into a direct mail postcard and send it to that audience, because I can guarantee you that there is a certain percentage of folks in there who are grumbling about rent, grumbling about the rent increases, and maybe coming up on renewal, and you hit them at the right time with the right message. And it's very easy, if you know where those communities are, or where those apartments, or where those those townhome rentals are, it's very easy to do that. And so we'll do that as what time is it? We might even have time to quickly put something together around that idea. With my database, ask, who can we bless? That's a great way to ask it, Anna. Thank you for that. How do you limit the ad to your local area? You can do it by two ways, Yvonne. By 15-mile radius around an address or a city, or you can select your entire county. And if you want to, let's say you only really would prefer to have a certain city, there's no perfect way to do that anymore, but you could include that in your ad messaging, right? If you're, so for example, sick of renting in Mechanicsburg, ? Message us your monthly rent amount. So there's no perfect way to narrow down any smaller than by county or 15-mile radius. Those are the geographic limitations with Facebook. But you can, in the ad, like in the message up here and in the image here, speak to the audience that you want to connect with. Okay, sick of paying rent in Harrisburg, PA. Or sick of making your Mechanicsburg landlord rich or richer. There are lots of variations that you can play around with this if this makes sense for you. A couple more questions, and then Harry, and then there's one other thing I want to mention with this. Well, actually, I'm going to mention it now. This goes with anything. If you want to make this work, you're going to end up having to do more than you think. You're going to need to have more conversations than you think. You're going to need to be more involved and active than you think. And I would say that's with anything in this business. If you're tired of where you're at in our business, you're probably going to have to work harder than you realize to get out of that. Okay. But the great thing here is with this strategy is you're having real life, actual conversations with people in your market. John, does Facebook allow you to target renters instead of homeowners? Not really. Not really. You can do interest targeting. So you can do the 15-mile radius or the county targeting, and then you could do interest targeting where you choose people interested in Zillow, or there are rental specific interest targeting, but I wouldn't do that with this, right? The way, so many people in our industry that I've talked to and heard from have been discouraged by the changes that Facebook has made over time, where they've removed certain data and interests, where they've done the radius and so forth. And all what my personal experience is, it works even better because fewer people market on there. And if all you need to do is call out in your ad who this message is for. One of my longtime mentors, not in the real estate space, but just in the digital marketing, internet marketing space, a guy by the name of Frank Kern, he calls it, and I don't even think this is who I learned it from, but I don't think he created it, but he calls it dog whistle copy. Dog whistle copy. So you're saying specifically in the ad who this is for, right? And I could be doing a better job in this. In calling out in the ad, sick of renting here in Central PA, ? Or sick of renting here in Cumberland County, ? Like, as I'm doing this, I'm realizing like we should do a better job of calling out of dog whistling in the copy, and the dog whistle idea being the only people that can hear, the only thing that can hear the dog whistle is dogs, right? So the only people that then respond are the people that you're talking to in the ad with the way that it's crafted. Fortuna, in which states are you licensed? So I think you're asking for me, in what states am I licensed to do loan origination? Pennsylvania and Florida currently. going to be adding more, and have potential options or solutions if you're in another state. And I'd be happy to talk with you or get back with whoever invited you, and they can make that connection. You mentioned PropStream, Property Radar, the third. Oh, Remine. Remine was the other one. REMINE. Harry, thanks for responding to that. That is Bright MLS. We have access to that for free. And it's, it's just it's a data provider. We also use PropStream pretty heavily as well. Isabel, did you say that you place these leads in the CRM when you have a phone number and address? When we have at least an email address. So once we have at least their email address, we will put them into the CRM. Send a non-owner occupied homes to the tenant. 100%. Yep. Marketplace is free. How are you figuring out which they can purchase, Sandy? So we're using their replies and the rental amount that they said they're comfortable paying. And we're just kind of creating a list from that, right? You have to be a little bit of a problem solver. So that if they said, $1,500 a month and they're looking in Camp Hill and they'd like at least 3 bedrooms, then we're going to try and build a list of, properties in Camp Hill that theoretically they could purchase around that monthly amount. Okay. It's never going to be perfectly, it's never going to be perfect, but you're just trying to make good on the offer you're making. Anna made a great point. Title companies can often help you get data as well. 100%. Sick of rent increases. That's a great variation of this. I love that. Sick of rent increases, 100%, because let's face it, they're happening over and over and over. I mean, the rental increase percentage is greater, or has been greater, than the home appreciation percentage we've seen over the last 24 months, which is pretty remarkable. You add the leads to your CRM even if you only have their email address. 1,000% yes. 1,000%. Because this is, you should be emailing your entire database every Friday. That's a whole different topic for another day, but that's part of our best practices, is an email to your entire database every Friday. Which, Angela, I don't know, whoever invited you, get back with them, whether it was me or someone else, and we can give you the playbook for that, for what that Friday email looks like and how to craft that. But if you have name and email, for me, they're definitely going in my database. We'll get to the question about Vulcan consistency. Okay, Harry, you've had your arm up for a while. You're tired. Your arm's tired. Oh, you're muted.
Is there a way to sort or group all these people in Messenger so that you're?
There probably is. We probably need
more
to play with that. I think you can, so you can label them.
Well, that might help if you, sort of, I don't know, some way it would give you the.
Actually,
can you bulk message people?
To spam, Marcus follow, click to.
Because if you could, then you could sort of say, all the people who responded between X and Y, and you could then, instead of sending them 10 or, instead of sending out 10 individual messages, you could just say, hi, just wanted to see if you're, still interested.
You can add labels. There are labels that are applied directly based upon if you're doing ads. And there is certainly more that we could, should be doing to utilize labels and organize that. So that may be something that we personally have to look into. You can even add notes to a contact, just like you could in a CRM.
And so do they automatically become, do they like your page, or are they friends, or is it just that
well, they don't automatically, but we try to do a good job of inviting people to like the page, which Man, we're bouncing all around here, but this is good stuff. I'm going to share my phone here for a minute, and I'll show you how to do that. A simple way to do that in the app. So I'm going to stop the share and share my phone. So you have to use the business app, the Meta Business Suite app. Oh, hold on.
iPhone 11. Wow. Good
I
for
don't know
you
what
hanging on to it that long.
I don't know what that was about. I don't have an iPhone 11. That was really weird. Can you guys see it? My screen? Zoom is being weird.
It said something about you have to update your software.
Yeah, but why is it doing that? It didn't do that the last time hold on. Let me unplug and plug it back in. Stop share. Huh. Makes no sense. All right. Well, I thought I was going to be able to share, but I'll just try and do it this way. This is not going to be ideal, but I'll spotlight my. Okay. So you have to use the Business Suite app, which it's in here, so it's making it harder to see. But it's the one, it's just the Meta Business Suite app, okay? And when you go into the app and you pull up your page, if you scroll down on the main feed, just scroll down a bit. Oh, Mike must be keeping on top of this because it's not, well, normally at the bottom here, you can, if you have people that have engaged with your ad and haven't been invited, there's a way that you can easily do that all at once versus you can manually invite one by one, but the app makes it way easier to bulk invite people that have engaged with your ad. Let me try one. There might be one other that, let me see if this one has any. Nope, we must be staying on top of that too well. Yeah, well. Pete.
So I got a question in regards to how everything is going, because it appears that you have like an autoresponder. Is that what you set up in there for your ads? So asking the questions like you have an autoresponder, or is that
No.
someone? So Mike is actually.
Mike responds.
Oh, really? Okay.
And there is, I mean, there are tools and apps that you can do to do some of that auto response. We've just found that, at least for now, it's better to do it.
Human touch.
Yeah, because it's an actual conversation with a live human being that, you know, that wants help, you know? And so, you know, just like everybody, I love technology. I love to create leverage and automation as much as possible, but, real estate also requires a human touch and an actual conversation. And my experience is no amount of automation can take into account when the person says something that's not in line with the way you perfectly have detailed. And oftentimes those are the folks that are some of the best opportunities. And so, and what happens is if you respond and it doesn't make sense for what they said, now they're like, I'm done with this guy, right? This is just, they're just like everybody else on the internet, you know? And so, we've just been manually doing it. Now, the one thing I think, when you set up the ad, we do have it set that when they hit send messenger or send message, there is a message that says, hey, Pete, thanks for your interest. How much are you currently paying per month in rent? Okay, but that's the end of the automation. and that you set up in the actual ad when somebody hits that, which you can also do if you're just making a send message post. Like if you're just making a post on your page, I believe anyway, you can set that even on that. There were a couple of things I was going to do, and I've already lost it. What was the one thing I was going to do? I don't remember. Vulcan 7. There was some conversation on Vulcan 7. Vulcan 7 is a data provider, similar to My Plus Leads, similar to RedX, similar to LandVoice. I don't know that I've ever used Vulcan 7.
I have.
I can't personally comment. Harry, did you say you have?
Mhm.
Okay.
So it's a dialer too.
Yeah.
So you can do the search, you can pull down the numbers, it'll do the skip trace, all that stuff. And then you can dial straight out of the dialer. And if, depending on what happens, you can then take if there was a conversation, you can take all the notes and move them into your CRM. It's expensive versus My Plus Leads. If all you really want is the is the search and skip tracing, and they have a limit. At least it used to be, I think it was 1,000 numbers a month. And then they start charging you more per lead. And so you can get a lot more names and phone numbers and addresses from either PropStream or Property Radar or Remine or whatever.
Yeah.
Because it used to be $300 a month.
My Plus Leads, Isabel, we've been paying for that and using that for probably years now, at least 18 to 24 months. And we like it, use it, recommend it.
Mhm.
I have heard, and we're going to be testing this maybe this month, if not this next month, January, is that there are limitations on the expired data in My Plus Leads. I heard that. I've been friends with the founder of the RedX for many years, and I heard that at the EXPCon. He was there, and he and I sat down and were chatting for a while, and he indicated that their expired data is significantly more robust. And I know him well enough that he's a straight shooter, like he's not just blowing smoke on that. So we may be testing and comparing that data source. But the reason why we started using My Plus Leads was the FSBO data. And you can find FSBO data for free, different places, Zillow, FizBonanza.com. It was just nice to have it all in one place. And they have a direct integration with KB Core, My Plus Leads, where you can one click get people over, get those leads into KB Core. So good question. Thank you for reminding me. The first thing that I had talked about doing was finding groups. So I got to switch back to my personal profile here on my I was on my NMLS page. But if you just go to facebook.com and then on the left-hand side, go to groups, or I think if you just go to facebook.com/groups, facebook.com/groups. Am I screen sharing? No, I'm not. Shoot. Okay, so I'm at facebook.com/groups. And then in this search box here, if you search for your city, I don't think that's the best. Oh no. Yeah, search for your city and then in filters, choose groups. It will bring back a bunch of local groups. And you can kind of, like sell it cheap site, 17K. That's a lot of group members. So I'm going to join that one. Harrisburg, PA, buy, sell, and trade. What city, state do you live in? Some groups will ask you questions. Some groups will make you promise not to break the rules, things of that nature. But there's lots of groups. So, I mean, if you get kicked out of one, I mean, it's not a huge deal. That one asked nothing. That one, there were no like, you know, this Harrisburg, PA. So I would start by looking for ones that have a significant amount of members. And like this one has 51,000. Wow. And you know, just go and join, you know, 5, 10, 20 groups. You don't want to post to too many in the same day, and you want to mix up which ones you post into. I would post or share into no more than like 3 to 5 groups a day at most, because you can get into Facebook jail. It's not like you'll get in trouble with the groups by sharing into more groups, but Facebook can flag you and just they can what's the word I'm looking for? They can like red flag your account for 15 days or 30 days or whatever. And so you don't want to be put in Facebook jail. So just kind of test that out and play around with that. But be conservative when you do that. Be conservative. Because of the fact that it's 12:05 already, I'm going to save I will create a bonus little video tutorial on the rental postcard idea. And I'll record all of that. I'll give the template, etc. And we'll add that into the bonus resources for this session, which if you are a guest, you can get back to whoever invited you and they can get you free access. You just have to create a free membership, and you get access to today's recording and all of the resources mentioned and our past Monday Marketing Mastermind sessions as well. Just have to ask. So other questions, comments, thoughts, or ideas? I don't know if I just want to make sure that I didn't miss any here. Oh, Kim asked, does your mortgage business feed your real estate business? Just curious, do you see any market benefit to having both licenses? Kim, I would say yes, but I don't think it's for everybody. So there were several reasons why I got my mortgage license. Okay. And some of them were directly related to my local team. Some of them were related to my larger EXP organization, and some of them were related to my bigger business goals, right? So there were several layers and reasons why. I'll give you one specific tangible example. I don't like working with local buyers, with buyers. I just don't. I know we just did a session for how to get into conversations with motivated buyers, but what I do is we generate that interest. We work them from the mortgage side, and I give them to the buyers on my local team to, you know, once they're ready, willing, and able, to help them find a home. Okay. So I think it really depends on your goals, you know, what you're trying to build. Like there are a lot of factors there. I wouldn't recommend it to get it just to get it. Like if you want to get it because you want to, for every buyer client you work, you want to get the loan and the buy side. Number one, you can't legally do it in some cases, right? Like you can't be the person that does the FHA mortgage and sells them the home using FHA, right? So the answer is it depends, and I'd be happy to have a conversation with you and talk you through, you know, some things to think about with that. But there were a number of reasons why I got it. It wasn't just one thing for me. There were several layers or reasons why. Stop paying your landlord's mortgage. I like that as well. I like asking questions. So are you sick of paying for your landlord's mortgage, or sick of paying your landlord's mortgage? Question mark. Message me your rental amount and we'll send you 3 homes that you could buy for the same amount, something like that. Lots of great ideas and variations, which is what this is about, masterminding. Other questions, comments, thoughts, or ideas to share? Up, Harry. Unmute.
Anna has her hand up.
Oh, Anna, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Thank you, Harry. Yes,
Yep.
just in case you don't have tools that you pay for, you can get a plug-in from Mozilla to do mass texting with your Google Voice phone number.
Oh, what's it called?
Well, you have to create a Google Voice phone number, which is free.
Right. Yep.
And then I can send you the link. You have to have a Mozilla,
Yep.
be in the Mozilla browser.
Right.
And then it's a mass texting plugin.
Huh.
And then you load it in there, and it'll mass text, because the Google Voice itself, you can do text, I think 6
Right.
people, but they all see the same message. With the mass texting tool, they don't. It's all separated. So it's kind of like Slide broadcast, but free.
Very cool.
Yeah. So
If you could share that with me, we'll add that to today's session. It doesn't directly relate necessarily, but it was a topic on here. So we'll add that information. And I'm wondering now if there's a Mozilla add-on, if there's a Google Chrome extension that might do the same. I don't know, but maybe not, because it's Google and you're kind of
We've
hacking
tried
the
it.
Google Voice thing.
yeah, I don't know. I mean, I've tried it, but it's not the directions that I have are for Mozilla. So I've got your email. I'll send you the instructions on how you do it.
Perfect. One other idea that is just now coming to me, and I don't know why, is take this idea and record a short form video and post that on TikTok, Instagram Reels, Facebook Reels, YouTube Shorts, Twitter. Just say the same thing. Hey, if you are currently renting right here in Central PA and you're sick of paying your landlord's mortgage every month, message me or comment below your rental amount, and we'll put together some home options that you could buy for the same, the same monthly payment what you're currently paying in rent. So go ahead and message me below, and we'll look forward to chatting soon, right? So something short like that. That could even be, we talk about short form video being 60 seconds or less. That's a 30-second video, right? That's a quick, to the point message, and you create that message and you put it out there. It's another free way to create opportunities and and help get more homeowners. Listen, the world, your market is better, my market is better, the world is better with more homeowners. If we have more people that have a piece of the pride of ownership, I think it's a good thing. James.
Yeah, that's a great idea. I actually wrote a note to do this in short form. What was it, two weeks ago, our mastermind was over short form, which is awesome.
Yep.
Where's the recording for that? Because I need to rewatch that and start doing that.
So that's in the members area we created for the monthly marketing mastermind. It's also in the short form video teachable tile. There's a tile specifically for short form video. Let me see if I can.
Oh, the recording that you did for the masterminds in the teachable tile.
Yes. Yep.
Okay. And
yep.
I guess I'm not sure where the mastermind membership.
Yep, I'll bring it up here in a second. While that's coming up, some housekeeping items as we come in for a landing here. For those in our organization, Wednesday's huddle, we will be, we haven't had like a traditional sort of just brainstorming mastermind type style huddle in a little bit because of holidays and different things. So that will be our typical huddle. And Thursday, we're gonna continue to talk about organizational growth, building, agent attraction, etc. Let me see here. So 1 second. Okay, it is. And for those of you, this is our sort of members portal for folks in our organization. When we have a topic or something that we dig into, or some sort of idea or action plan, we like to document everything so people have easy access. So it is under this tile, the short form video marketing syndication process. And then Mike also made a tile specifically for these Monday marketing masterminds, which is what you can all, if you haven't gotten access to that yet, if you're a guest and you haven't gotten access, when you get back to the person that invited you, they will tell you how you can create a free membership that will give you access to that member training area that has the replays and additional resources, etc. Okay, some great additional questions and comments in the chat, but it looks like that's all being addressed there. Next week, does anybody know? Did we pick a topic for next week? Oh, you know what? I do have one, I think. So this was a topic, this was a conversation we had a couple of weeks ago in our huddle outside of the Monday Marketing Mastermind, was to go and crowdsource ideas for what people are looking for help with right now. And if not next week, definitely this month, we're going to dig into retargeting best practices, because that was a topic that came up a lot when I posted about what idea or topic are you most interested in learning more about right now. And retargeting, specifically retargeting on Facebook and Instagram, was one that came up numerous times in that comment strand. So I don't know. We'll pick for sure. In fact, on Thursday on our huddle, everybody, I want to pick the topics for the rest of the month. So we've got a schedule for that. And for those of you who are guests, get back to whoever invited you. They will be happy to hook you up with the bonus resources, the recording, the scripts, the example conversation strands, all of that good stuff. Other housekeeping for tomorrow morning, 10:30 a.m. Eastern is Texting Tuesday. For my EXP organization, we have our big group coaching in our private team suite, 12:30 Eastern tomorrow. Back on Wednesday for our normal huddle, and Thursday as well. And then we've got Pat Hayes's Freedom Friday at 10 a.m. Eastern on Friday, and Larry White's Wealth Building Mastermind on Friday at 11 a.m. Eastern. Tomorrow's Texting Tuesday is going to be a little bit different for those that follow Texting Tuesday. We're going to be doing, so I have a guest coming on who has a database that he's built over the last 6 months or so of 1,300 leads, and he's not having success. And so we're going to do some things. I'm going to be sharing some ideas and giving him a plan of action for what he can do to reignite those past people in the database, and also a better strategy moving forward. So there'll be some things that he can do retroactively, okay, moving backwards, and some things he can do proactively moving forward to make sure that he's getting more out of each one of those new people adding into his database. So I think I'm excited for that session. Those kind of things get me jazzed. Who knows? We might even get him a client live on the session there. We'll see. Sometimes we're lucky enough to have that happen. So thanks so much. A great crowd today. Appreciate you all. Let's make it a great week. And for my group, make sure you bring back wins on Wednesday. Bring back wins on Wednesday. And if you need anything between now and then, please don't hesitate to ask. Take care and make it a great week.